Sodium, embedium, lithium, mybalsium, iris. Why are there so many performance mods these days? And why do they all end on idiom, with the sole exception of iris for some reason? Well, that's not what we will be discussing today, my little potato munchers. No. Today we are discussing why everybody uses these mods instead of the old, reliable Optifine. I think we all used this piece of software at one point or another, right? A friend of you told you would get a cool cape if you downloaded this program from a very sketchy looking website, and as a bonus your Minecraft suddenly ran a lot smoother. But why is everybody now telling me it's bad? Or worse, it's cringe. Well, that's what I'm here to find out. After talking to a lot of people in the modding space, searching throughout the digital wasteland, I'm finally to step outside my vault of knowledge and present you a video you can really thumbs up for. Can you tell I've been watching the Fallout show too much? I really need to rant about that one day. But hey, if you're already watching past this point, why don't you subscribe? It's free and it makes my monkey brain go happy mode because number go up. And while you're at it, we also have a little Discord where I'm fairly active in. But with that very stupid YouTuber stuff out of the way, let us dive right into the question at hand and find out what happened to Optifine. Okay, for the people living at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, let me explain what Optifine is and what it does. Kiz, activate learning mode. So Optifine is what is known as a performance modification. Basically, it takes the game, shakes it around a little bit, and does some magic code sorcery, patches it back up to the point that the game performs better than it did before. And the way it does that is somewhat questionable, but we'll get there in a bit. Created by SP614X. I swear, what's wrong with calling yourself like Bob or something? Why are all these names so weird? Anyway, created by SP and his merry band of developers, they created Optifine all the way back in beta 1.4 under the name of Optifog. Originally a very small project, it incorporated more and more mods into itself, adding support for shaders at around Java 1.8.8 by using yet another mod to base its code on. So to wrap it up, more FPS, more capes, more shadering. It's not a wonder that this mod became one of the most downloaded mods of all time. You know, I think so. I would assume so. They don't actually offer any metrics for me to go ahead and have a look in. Okay, Kiz, deactivate learning mode. But if Optifine is so great and you can do everything these other mods do with just one Optifine mod, why would I bother installing like 16 mods? Well, my dear potato muncher, because in recent years, Optifine kinda sucks. Now wait. Before you click off this video to go to every other video talking about Optifine to spam how much better Sodium is, first let us acknowledge that you are perfectly justified to use whatever performance mod you want. Like Sodium, Embedium, and if you're a masochist, Optifine. Yeah, I'm joking, but yeah, like, you get the point. Like, don't go to other videos complaining about Optifine. If you use Sodium, that's great on you. This video is merely to show you why a lot of people are switching over to alternatives, and that's it. Alright, got it? Good. Now be a sweet little kiddo and tell me what performance mods you actually use. Now I'm quite curious, actually. Now come on kids, get that camera, we need to start filming the real deal here. In software, we have a term called monolithic. This term is usually used to describe programs that have very large code bases, and as a result are hard to manage, and that further results in them being very unchangeable and robust. Optifine is one such program. By incorporating and building more and more systems under one big program, Optifine has become somewhat of a bloated software over the years and has yet to actually change all that much from its original self, judging by the way its installer handles the installation progress itself. Yeah, remember jar modding, the thing I talked about in this video and I said it was bad and everybody ditched it as soon as they could? Yeah, the installer still does that. Yeah, I'm very sure this won't cause any issues at all that I will be talking about in just a few minutes. This archaic way of doing things reflects in everything Optifine does, from the way it handles its chunk loading to the way it does rendering and so on and so forth. This caused the mod to slowly over the years lose more and more performance gains to the point that it now can't compete with the new kids on the block. And with Iris's shader system allowing Optifine shaders to run on it and innovating on it, for many people there's almost no reason to still use Optifine other than it being very simple to install. Alright, so jar modding can't be just that big of a deal, right? After all, we've done it for years before Forge came around. why is it an issue now? Like, it can't be that big of an issue. Or can it? See, the whole reason people wanted Forge to become a thing is because jar modding caused a lot of issues as you physically changed pieces of code before launching. Let's say Mojang writes a piece of code that says if the player is in a chunk, it does a tick. A mod that has a chunk loader type block, something like Industrial Craft 2, would need to change that into something like if the player is in this chunk or the chunk loader is in this chunk, then tick. This would tell Minecraft that if the modded chunk loader is in there or the player, it would keep doing those ticks, essentially acting as if the player was there, allowing crops to grow, oil to be pumped, and all the other stuff that required ticks. Now let's say Optifine wanted to add something. Let's say a timer that requires the player to be in the chunk for more than 1 second. Well, now you have two mods wanting to change the same piece of code. So you either get a working chunk loader, but Optifine running slower, or Optifine running perfectly and the chunk loader not working. But more likely, your game will crash and your PC will burn. But with that out of the way, hey, wake up! Listen, I know your nerd detector is going off, Kyle, and I know it's getting a little bit boring. We're getting to the good part. It's not the time for sleeping. Also, I'm very sorry if you were actually watching this trying to fall asleep. It just occurred to me. Anyways, can you imagine what happens when you install Optifine into a pack and it utterly shits the bed because it changed a single value one of these mods needs? No? No, you can't? Like, physically? Well, you're in luck, because you don't need to imagine that. Do you guys know Create? One of the best mods ever created out there? See what I did there? From what I could see and find online, it is still incompatible with Create. Optifine just crashes the game completely. Even on the small Forge server I managed, the game just completely refuses to boot up. But that's the worst of it, right? Like, it's not good with mods, who cares? I just play vanilla. Well, my friends, get your diving suits on, because we're gonna dive even a step deeper. No, kids, don't actually put its diving suit on. It's a metaphor, man. Come on. Hey, so fun fact, did you know that Optifine is banned from speedrunning competitions? That's right, a simple performance mod is banned from official speedrunning forums. So that means Sodium is banned too, right? Well, no, Sodium is allowed to be used from 1.15 and upwards, with Optifine being banned outright. Alright, quick pause here. I'm going to point out that some people do say it's still allowed under 1.15 under very specific settings, but those settings are not easy to see in the game itself, so they prefer not to be in there. But no one I actually talked to in the community could confirm or deny that, so take that as you will. But point being, why is specifically Optifine banned from speedrunning? Well, dear viewer, let me ask you a simple question. How far can you jump in Minecraft without running? Right, now that the parkour kitties are vibrating in their seats harder than your mom on a lonely night. Okay, kids, let's not animate that one. If you take a look at this video by Cinemal, he shows that turning on the fast math option in Optifine and look in a specific direction, Optifine can cause the player to jump 3 blocks instead of the usual 2. And hey, you guys liked to shit on paper, right? Because it broke game mechanics? Well, how about the fact that Optifine literally changes the world gen, disables a lot of stuff, Spigot also turns off, and also quick side note, I generally had a stroke when I found out that the server doesn't even check for glitches like this. Essentially, the only thing the server will ever catch you for is flying, and even that needs to be enabled. So yeah, please fix Mojang. So yeah, that's everything bad about Optifine. So to recap, it breaks mods, it breaks the game, and it doesn't even do much to enhance performance. So what does this all actually mean? Well, let's do a quick little recap. And with the recap, I mean get your pitchforks out. It's time to storm the Optifine HQ in I don't know, GitHub land? How do you even storm a website anyways? But no, put down those pitchforks and listen. Optifine went from being just a performance mod in Minecraft to being a mod you also needed if you wanted to have beautiful shaders in your game. But years of slow development, no real big changes under the hood, coupled with the incompatibility with newer mods and especially Fabric for some reason, caused it to lose a lot of ground to newcomers. Heck, speaking from personal experience, I can't even remember the last time I used Optifine, as Sodium's UI is just better, but not only that, it genuinely just makes Minecraft perform so much better. But Loner, I hear you scream with your gamer subs filled hands. What about us Force users? Well, you little creatures, there is something for you as well, a direct port/fork called Embedium, and we will cover Embedium and Sodium in an upcoming video. But to round this off, in short, is Optifine a bad piece of software? Not really, but I sure as hell wouldn't use it. But with that being said, I was Lunar, you were very awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.
I have an Optifine cape! Someone bought me an Optifine cape! Now I have an Optifine cape on my back!